Take a nice deep breath and just breathe out. So you feel like you're letting go of any busyness or pressure that you had to combat to get to the mat. This is your space now. So come into your stillness. Of course, when you say that, your focus is immediately drawn to where you move. The second element of your meditation here is a sense of commitment to your practice. And if that doesn't quite resonate with you, perhaps the sense of an intention towards your practice. So if you're feeling like you need something from your practice, or you're simply grateful, now this commitment is to allow yourselves the opportunity to feel you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And the third element of this meditation, which we're going to bring with us onto the mat, is focus on the breath. You take the focus to the tip of the nose. Try and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. How does the air feel as you inhale? The temperature. How does it feel as you exhale? Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Ujjayi breath, you then start to create an oceanic sound by slightly closing the throat. If you're not familiar with that, you might want to just take your palm up to your mouth. You can slightly bring your focus to that palm now. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth, and imagine that you're steaming up a mirror. So the Ujjayi breath is the same as that, but you keep the mouth closed and you exhale through the nose. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. You create this sound, this swelling sound in the throat. So that generates a lot of heat in the body. You can practice with that all the way through your yoga. With your appreciation now of this time that you've marked out for yourselves, come to the tops of your mats. Take the palms to the chest and just soften the knees slightly. Now, I don't want you to lock your back, so you might even want to bend your knees slightly and feel the softness of in between your thighs. We often lock our spine into place. Just simply bounce up and down a little bit. Be soft in your muscles. Feel yourselves on a cellular level, getting into your physical being, your physical presence. And then come up to stand and keep that sense of softness. So you round the pelvis. The knees are straight, but they are not locked. Your belly is drawn in, but it still rises and falls. Inhale, lift the arms up. Hello, sunshine. And exhale, fold forwards. Keep the knees nice and soft. So let your chest be heavy on your thighs. You open the lower back. Inhale, look up. And then we're going to break down the sun salutation slightly. So the right leg goes back first. Inhale, lift the chest up. So nice low lunge. Palms to the knee if you like. into the hip flexors, a nice deep stretch. Keep your toes tucked. And then step your left leg back, knees are down, palms underneath the shoulders. Keep the elbows in as you lower the chest and the chin. Inhale, lengthen forwards. Press the toes into the mat. Lift the knees off the mat softly with your glutes. Inhale, the chest rises, the shoulders roll back. Smile, so the corners of the mouth lift up. And then exhale. So take the gaze down towards the navel. Send the hips back towards the heels. Draw the navel in, the hips come forwards and up. Your feet ought to stay almost exactly where they were before. So nice and long in your downward facing dog. Inhale here. Now, if you want to practice the Ujjayi breath and you're not familiar with it, again, exhale through the mouth and think about steaming up your mat below you. Bit of a lion's breath. Then again, deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale similarly, but this time with the mouth closed, so the exhalations push back out through the nose. Another deep breath here. Feel the space inside the body where the breath resonates. On the base of the exhalation, engage your navel, and now step that right leg forward between the palms. If you can't get there in one go, no problem. Just lift that leg up and encourage it forward. And you can let the back knee drop. Inhale, lift the torso up. Heel your gaze up to where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then exhale, gaze down, step the left leg forward so the feet are together. Inhale, halfway lift, so palms to shins, lengthen the back. And then exhale, you fold down, bend the knees and let your lower back open. So space in the back side of the body, beautiful. Inhale, lift up, draw up. And exhale, release the arms back down to the side. Let's do the other side now. Inhale, look up. Lift your torso out of your waist. Exhale, tuck forwards. Let the gaze now come to your knees or your navel. So you're working towards straighter legs, but keep them soft. Inhale, halfway lift, so palms to shins or fingertips to floor. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold down. Step that left leg back this time. So the left leg leads this time. Inhale, lift up through the torso. And then exhale, place the palms underneath the shoulders. We're now going to come into plank. Step the right leg back to meet the left. If you want to drop your knees, please do. Keep the abdomen engaged and drawing up. You can slightly dome your upper back. Gazes forwards, lower down. So you either go back into cobra here or inhale into upward facing dog. And then you take the gaze to the navel. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. So you take whichever breath fits you right now. Keep that Ujjayi breath going if you're new to it and the sensation is pleasant, or if it's a little bit uncomfortable, you need to keep stepping just gently, bit by bit, out of your comfort zone. This is where the real learning takes place, and we have to be learners right now. We have to be really good at adaptation and evolution. Inhale, take the gaze to the front of the mat, and then we're going to step the left leg forward. Lift the chest, so your back toes are tucked, nice deep lunge. Inhale here, smile through the heart, connect with other human beings. Exhale, step the right leg forward and roll down. Inhale, let's lift all the way up. Now we're going to flow a little bit more. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. When I say we're going to flow a bit more, both legs will move together. Bend your knees and soften. And then hop or step back into your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog vinyasa. One breath, one movement. At the top of your inhalation there, you roll over your toes and come into downward facing dog. Now, turn both of your ankles to the right and your knees to the left. Get a nice twist in the side body. So here we go. We're creating space. Feel the intercostal muscles separate. You may want to take the gaze underneath the left armpit. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, rotate in the opposite direction. So you bend through the knees. You send the ankles to the left, the knees to the right. The gaze underneath the right armpit. Inhale. Exhale, back to the center. Lovely. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Draw your navel in. Keep your hips high. Bend the knees. And just try a hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, draw up to standing. And exhale, release your palms down into your Tadasana. So we're going to come into quite a strong variation of Sun Salutation B. If at any point you need to take a rest, you just simply come down to the mat. You can have a prone Shavasana, you can come into child's pose, but do try and take modifications rather than drop down entirely so that you can enjoy this sequence. So from standing, inhale, bend the knees and sit back into your invisible chair. Stick the bottoms out and then round them. So the bottom sticks out and then you round it round. So it even helps to do a little stroke of the bum with the palms of the hands. Lovely. Inhale. Draw the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step or hop into our plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, into downward facing dog. Take your left foot and move it to the left back corner of the mat, and then your right foot comes forward to the right hand side of the mat. So it's warrior one stance. Your hips are level with the short edge of your mat. Tuck your lower rib cage in and inhale. Draw the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, sink the shoulders down the back. Inhale. Check your knee is tracking over the second toe of the front foot. The back leg is strong and straight. The outer edge pushes down into the mat. Lovely. Then we're going to twizzle on our back leg. So the toes are now facing the front. Walk your right leg into the center of the mat. So we're coming into high lunge. You can sink your hips down a little lower. Maybe take your hands into prayer behind your head. Fingertips pointing down, elbows drawing up. And then bring your focus back to your rib cage. Draw the rib cage in. Tuck your chin. Lovely. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With control, soften your back knee and lay it down on the mat. Phew. Now bring your palms in front of the chest. Lovely. You might just want to hop your knee forward so it's underneath the hip. That will give you a better supportive base. So come back into your Anjali Asana, that's prayer pose in front of the chest, just touching the sternum. Inhale and lift out of the waist, and exhale, turn towards your right. So I'm going to be turning away from you, so I'm just going to shuffle around and show you on the other side. So you're turning towards the side and you're keeping upright for now. Inhale, lengthen, lift out of the waist, and then exhale. See if you can Take your left elbow and prop it against the outer edge of your right knee and come into your first twist. So your gaze, it's very tempting to kind of round your neck. What I'd like you to try and do is keep your neck in line with your shoulders and your hips, and then take the gaze back behind you. So you're not curling your spine here. You're finding space through the thoracic spine and through the waist. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So if you want a bit more, come with me. You're going to place that left palm actually flat on the ground, or you can use your block, your brick, your book, whatever you've got to kind of give you that similar effect of pushing into something solid. Then we're going to span the right arm up into the air. Try and line your thumb up with your nose. If you want a little bit more, raise up off the back leg, extend the heel away from you. Come into this really nice side twist and lunge. Twisted lunge. Where's your drishti? Where's your commitment? Lovely. Lower your gazes and lower your palms to either side of the front foot. So I'm just going to swap back so you have a different view of me, back to the beginning. And then I'd like you to come up, rise up into warrior two. So you want the heel in line with the instep of the back foot. Your front leg is 90-degree bend. If it's not getting to 90 degrees, you just make your stance a little bit longer. Push the outer edge of the back foot nice and solidly into the mat. Lower the shoulders down towards the waist. Draw the navel in, take the gaze over the front hand. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lift the right palm up. Reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. And then exhale, lean forwards, straighten the front leg. So we're coming into triangle, regular triangle to begin with. Your stance might be a bit long. If that's the case, just hop the back leg a little bit closer and come into your triangle. So similarly, your heel wants to be in line with the instep of the back foot. Use the right hand just to blossom the hips open. So telescope the ribs open. And again, come into the idea of your crown being in line with your shoulders. You're not rolling forwards towards your hips. You want to make sure that your crown, your shoulders, and your hips are in a straight line. So if you were pressed in between two panes of glass, you wouldn't be breaking that glass. Again, take the gaze up if your neck can take it. If you'd rather not and you want to look down, that's the option for you there. Inhale, you're strong in your right waist, lifting your body away from the legs. Exhale, then recruit your left waist to keep you upright. Your left arm also draws you up. It reaches you open. Find the space. Let yourselves create potential. Lovely. Get unstuck. Exhale. Take the gaze down. Place your palms either side of your front foot and take your toes to now face back towards the front. You're in a low lunge. Step back into plank. Lower down. Take a moment on your mat. Zip your legs together. Expand your arms wide and then draw your shoulder blades together to meet behind your back. Interlace your fingers and extend your first fingers so they're pointing like a gun towards your heels. Obviously, no guns here. This is very metaphysical. Inhale. Lift the chest away. If you want to recruit the legs, please do. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Push the hips back towards the heels and come into a gentle child's pose. Inhale, look forwards, draw your hips forwards. Come into downward facing dog once again. Now I'd like you to take a similar stance that you did for warrior one. Take your left leg out to the side and back corner and the right leg forwards. Your stance might want to be a bit shorter. And here again, you may want to have your block, your brick, your book just by the outside of the right foot. So your back left foot is pointing towards about 11 o'clock. Do you see the angle? Try and draw the hips forwards. So inhale. This is where we go into our twist. Just take your thumb, first of all, and tuck it into where your thigh and your hip meet. And use that to draw the flesh away and draw the hip backwards so it's level with the left side hip. So you're doing that in the right thigh. Lovely. Let the arms come out and float down parallel to the mat. And as you float further down than parallel, you rotate your left hand, comes to the outer edge of your right foot. Easy, you say. Bring your right palm to your hips. Now, this is where you are your instructor. You learn from yourselves. If your left hip has dropped back and your right hip is sticking out to the side, I'd like you to use your right palm to guide yourself. So once again, you can use your thumb in that little crease of the right hip and thigh. You draw the pelvis back so the hips are neutral. And then once you've got that, you can put a cup of tea on your back. Lift up the right arm if you want to. Twisted revolve triangle pose. Find the space here. You may feel a bit crowded in the front body. Lift the body away from the legs. It's really, really strong. Let's drop that arm and let your upper body fold forwards just a little bit, just as much as you feel you're ready, and a little bit more. And then inhale, draw up to standing. So keep your hips parallel to the front of the mat and take your arms either into reverse prayer or take opposite elbows. So that's similar, short, wide stance facilitates equal hips, parallel hips. Inhale, draw the chest long, and exhale, fold down towards your front leg. So you may find your nose comes to knee, your forehead comes to knee. You may find not, okay? So let's use the breath. Create your space. Have you still got your Ujjayi breathing? Imagine that you're drawing, so there's a crease in the middle of your mat. So you want to straighten out that crease. You're pushing away with your front foot and you're drawing back with your back foot. Then come to the shoulders. Is the left shoulder level with the right? Inhale, one more time, draw up. Lovely. Bring the palms back to in front of the chest and bring your left leg in a little bit, coming back into that high lunge. Then you gradually drop the knee down. Woo, you're going to rest in the legs for a moment. You can untuck the back toe for the moment if you like to. We're going to come back into that sense of a nice deep twist. Inhale and draw your upper bodies over to the right hand side. Exhale, lean forward, so fold over the thigh and let your left elbow come to the outer edge of the right knee. Again, you may like to practice here with your block or your brick, and you could come here. So you leave your back knee lowered down, relax your feet, draw your right arm up, take the thumb above the nose, and that could be where you are. You want a little bit more, there's more to be had. Make sure that your palm is in line with the knee and not in front of it. You want to come up onto the back toe and
Extend that arm nice and long, the leg nice and long. Send the heel away from you. Lift the right arm up, and then if you want to, draw it over the ear. And then finally take the gaze up to the armpit and then to the fingertips. So there's a lot going on with the compression of your internal organs here. You're really rinsing through the body, rinsing through the spine, the digestive organs, your lungs. Yes, they are being compressed in the front, but there is space in the back. Lovely. Hold it at the base of your next exhalation. Take your upper arm down. If your knee was up, lower it down. And then step that right leg back and sink back once again into child's pose. Have your knees together if you can, or if you need to accommodate yourself a bit more, then you just widen the knees and you can let your ear drop down, or maybe your left ear drops down towards the mat. Have a rest, you've earned it. Where do you feel space? Where do you feel heat? Lovely. So we've done one side, and I'm very aware that 45 minutes goes very, very quickly. So, or it might not for you, but it does for me. Let's do the other side. Inhale, draw up into your downward facing dog. Step your right foot, so your right foot is staying behind at the back of the mat. Take it to the outer edge of the mat. The left foot comes forward. We're going to rise up into warrior one. Inhale, lift the arms. Draw the lower rib cage in. Lovely. Then rotate the back heel so the toes are pointing forwards and come into your high lunge. Inhale, out of the waist. Exhale, soften the knee. And you're coming down into your first twist on your left-hand side. So you draw your palms together at the front of the chest. Inhale, lengthen the upper body and turn towards your left knee. Roll over your left thigh. Let the right elbow come to the outside edge of the left knee. So if you want to here, you can lift up the back leg, but do remember you get a second chance at this, or a variation of this in a moment, so you don't have to. You can leave that lower leg and just focus on finding the lift you need in the upper body. So engage the waist, draw your body up away from the earth. Inhale, exhale. At the base of your next exhalation, lower that arm down. And then we're going to rise up into warrior two on the left-hand side. So nice 90-degree bend in the front knee. The front knee tracks over the second toe. The heel is in line with the instep of the back foot. The outer edge of the back foot presses down into the mat. Inhale, lift yourselves away from the floor. So think about something, a string drawing you up out of your pelvis. Flip your left palm, come into peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. Open up through the left waist. And then exhale, lengthen forwards towards your, the front of the space that you're in before you come down. So remember, you may need to shorten your stance. Come into your triangle pose, so it may well be that you have to telescope the ribs like you did on the other side to feel the twist, the openness in the chest here. Inhale, draw the left waist in. Exhale. So again, come to the back leg, strong, straight. And the outer edge of the sole of the foot presses nicely into the mat. Relax your toes, relax your tongue, relax your jaw. Soft. Be soft when you come up to challenges. Be able to move. Lovely. Exhale. Take the gaze down. Place the palms either side of the foot. And then rotate the toes so they're facing forward. Step back. Lower down. Inhale, draw the arms behind you, lift the chest, draw the legs together, hover the toes just 5 centimeters above the mat. If you want to, bend at the knees and catch your feet from the outside. Keep the knees drawing together and kick the knees off the floor, even if it's only a centimeter. Inhale. Exhale. Come to your breath. Release. Place the palms on the mat. Take your hips to your heels for an extended child's pose. Inhale, draw yourselves forwards back into a downward facing dog. So once again, you're leaving your right foot at the back of the mat and your left foot comes forwards. A short and wide stance, and you want your brick or block or book just to the outside edge of the left foot. Now we want to focus on getting those hips parallel to the short edge of your mat. Place your thumb in the crease of the hip and the thigh and see if you can draw the flesh back so your right hip comes forwards. Straighten up in both legs. Inhale, draw the arms out. Now keep the inner thighs drawing together as you lower your torso level to the mat. You cross your right hand over to the outer edge of your left foot. Come back to your pelvis. Feel it with your left palm. Where's your cup of tea gonna go? Or that latte you've just spent the last half an hour creating. You don't want that to fall on the floor. So you come and find a place where your back is really intense, is stable and steady. And if you're ready for it, you can open up. If you prefer to have your hand just resting on your sacrum, I say just, that's sending you so much information. So take a while to be there with it and process that information. Beautiful. If you are lifting your hand up, nose is in line with the thumb. Roll your left shoulder back. Excellent. Okay, lower down and draw your, so keep your legs as they are. Just release, maybe bend through the front knee a little bit. Release any tension that's built up in the hamstrings. Lovely. And then build yourselves back up from the ground. Again, you take either the other opposite elbow behind the back or reverse prayer. Palms are pressing against your spine, so the edges of your palms press against the spine. Inhale, draw up. Level through your hips, straighten both legs, and then exhale, reach forward, down towards your front leg. Come back to your hips and your shoulders. So quite often it's your left shoulder, the one that's the same shoulder as the leg that's forward, that reaches back. See if you can reach that shoulder and bring it in line with your right shoulder. So when you tuck your chin here, you're pressing down on your thyroid. It's very good for your metabolism. Bend through the front knee. Inhale, draw up. Step your right leg a little bit more into the midline of your mat. Draw your toes forward and you rotate, so you rotate your heel and send it away from you. Inhale, arms up and then to the front of the body, coming into prep. Mudra at the chest, lower the back knee down. So again, you want to check that your knee is just below the hip. Coming into that extended side angle, turn towards your left. Really lengthen as you round down so that the right elbow tucks to the outer edge of the left knee. Good. So, yogi choice. You stay here. You can blossom the arms out. And if you choose to stay here, what I want you to be focusing on is really drawing the left shoulder, rotating it round so that you feel your heart shine forwards. That's the feeling I want you to focus on. You got that? If you want a little bit more, you can tuck the back toe and send the right heel away from you. So you've got really strong back leg. And then you can take your gaze up. If you want a little bit more than that, you can reach the arm forwards over the ear. Take your gaze from armpit Whoop. 2 fingertips. So alignment here, just check that your palm, if it's on the ground, is not further forward than your knee. Really strong twist. You may be sweating, you may be hot, you may not have thought you might need a shower. Just let the breath cool you. Lovely. Then we're going to lower that palm down. And I want you to walk yourselves over to the long edge of your mat. So you're wide-legged, nice and straight in the legs and forward fold. So again, think about your knees. Are they soft or are they locked out? What I'd like you to feel is that they have a softness in them, give to them. Again, let your feet not roll out, but let the weight come to the outer edges of the feet. And just let the blood come to your heads a little bit here. You don't need to work too hard on the shoulders. Palms can be anywhere that feels right for you, but when I said it earlier, I meant it. Come out of your comfort zone. Go beyond what you were ready to do and discover yourselves. Discover. And it doesn't mean go deep, deep, deep and hurt yourselves. It means just accept challenge. It's here for you. Lovely. Then we're going to heel toe the feet together and come into either a squat, a traditional squat, so you let your hips drop down in between your heels and you let the elbows come inside the knees, comme ça. Or you can take whatever you were using for your hand, perhaps if you're fit on there, you can sit on that. Still the same thing, you're getting longer in the spine. And then we're going to just come into a little twist here. So place your right hand down and inhale, draw the left arm up. Maybe let the gaze follow. Just check you're not rolling forward in your body. So think about drawing open and back with the right shoulder, and then your crown is in line with your hips. So lean back a bit, lean back. If you want a bit more, you can let the right hand fold behind your body, lift up off the left hand, and you come into a bind. Come back to the center, and then we repeat on the other side. So the left palm reaches down in front of your left knee, right arm hands up, find the space, and then twist into it. There's so many variations of postures with these twists. We could do all day in these twists. So this is the thing, we're going to avoid stagnation. We're going to keep on moving because that is what our lives ask of us. And yoga is a kind way to acclimatize to that sense. Lovely. So we're getting towards relaxation. I'd like you to draw your knees into your chest and just embrace yourselves. So feel that closeness, gather in. And then keep hold of your knees, keep them into your chest, lift up off your toes and rock back very gently so that you're lying on your backs and your knees still come into your chest. We're going to take a supine twist here. Let the knees fall over to the left hand side and take your gaze to the right. Now, if you want a little bit more, take a hold of your top foot with your left hand, so your right foot and your left hand, and extend your right heel away from you. If you want a bit more than that, take your left foot in your right hand. So you're getting a stretch along the posterior of your right leg and the front of your left leg. Your quads are getting a stretch. If you're a runner, this is actually pretty good. And then the gaze is over to the right, but the challenge here is to make sure whichever option you go for, your right shoulder is still heavy on the ground. It might be that you didn't catch your foot at all. If not, your knees are just stacked on top of each other. Perhaps your left hand goes on top of your right knee. And then we're going to breathe that right knee in and the left knee in and up, and come over to the other side. So that left arm extends out, the gaze follows that left arm gently. You can extend your left leg and catch it with your right hand. Maybe you can reach and catch your right foot with your left hand. Lots of twisting going on here, huh? Where's the space? Where's the opportunity? How does your navel feel, your trunk feel here? So we've talked a lot about sensations. Sensations are they're oriented around external stimuli. I want you to now drop down a bit deeper into feelings. What does it feel like for you? How does it feel for you on the mat right now? We're gradually going to move up so the knees are back, up and in to the chest. So usually we keep the palms on the knees as we circle them, but I'd like you to try, if you can, to let the knees circle without guiding with the palms. See if you've got that control, that command. Lovely. And the opposite direction, so knees come together, they go away from you, they span out either side, and then they join back together at the chest. So draw the knees up the midline, they separate, bring them back to the chest one more time. Relax into the hips. So we didn't get a lot of what some people might call hip opening today. So if you want to take any last movements before you relax, please do. If you've got the opportunity to have a longer Shavasana and a rest here, can you please make sure you take it? If you do need to dash off, be sure that you leave with a sense of, I suppose, respect. Listen to yourselves. And remember that we can only learn when we can receive information, and we cannot receive information when we are stressed. Okay, stress has its place, but if you really need to learn, you need to make sure that you'll weave in relaxation into your routine. So come into your star-shaped Shavasana. If you're feeling like really busy in the mind, you might like to lie on your front. But in this supine position, so we have a lot of openness in the front body, we're really ready to receive. Enjoy the symmetry after all that twisting, and enjoy the very reliable support of the earth. It's likely that you may have felt a little bit destabilized by some of those postures, as well as that's part of the challenge, isn't it? So let's just accept it, and then let all of what you've been through just drop. Let it, just allow it to be what it was. Feel yourselves here and now on the mat with a level of acceptance that you perhaps hadn't felt towards yourselves for a while. You tried, you came, you turned up, and that's what counts. Come back to that concept of softness, readiness to take information in, and let your belly be that softness. Breathe that softness. And it's not about what you're thinking right now. It's not even so important what you feel, although your feelings and your thoughts have their place. Can you bring your focus to something a bit beyond, a bit further? Science minds might like to consider the cellular level of activity. Or perhaps and these things aren't always in opposition, but a sort of spiritual mind, you think about something beyond yourself, something, an invisible something, force of some nature, something that stirs you.
really important to connect with whatever motivates us to avoid inertia and stagnation. You could turn off the sound and just lie here for a little longer if you like, but I'm aware of the time, so I'd like us, if we have to, just start to move your ankles and your feet, your wrists and your fingers. Maybe squidge one buttock and another, slightly wriggle through the hips. Draw your knees up so the soles of the feet make good solid contact with the ground, and then lift your hips so that you come to lie on your side line. Just check your side line. So again, think about your head being in line with your shoulders and your shoulders being in line with your hips. Lovely. Steady yourselves, steady your focus, steady your breath. Come up to sitting. And in your comfortable position, we'll end with 3 breaths. Bring the palms to prayer, tuck the chin, lengthen the spine. Inhale, draw the arms up, look up. Wow, what space. Exhale down through the midline. Gorgeous. Inhale. Check your pelvis. It's rolling, isn't sort of rolling too far forward here, so you can sit back on the sit bones. Lovely. One last time. Inhale, draw up. Let the shoulders draw down. Navel draws in. Exhale to the center. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste. It's great to see you all. Keep well. Keep learning. Keep growing.
Thank you.